Howdy howdy, I think you have seen my desk before. Somewhat, I don't know. Look at the cute wall behind there. I've got many pride flags, but thought I'd do a little beginning shot. I've been wanting to get a computer for a couple of years, because I've been primarily... Crikey, why do I have so many things open? I've been primarily using laptops for pretty much... Actually, yeah, all of my time doing digital art and posting videos on YouTube, I've been using laptops, and I've been wanting to get a proper PC for like a long time. But look, I finally have it. Sorry, I'm just staring because I did name my computer, and now that I'm thinking about it, I don't remember my own computer's name. Mongoose. Mongoose. I named it Mongoose. And isn't it beautiful? It's not the most amazing computer in the world, but you know what? It is better than no computer, and I can slowly upgrade it. I love stickers, as you can tell. It's like a little challenge. How many of so-and-so can you spot? Like, just swapping hands, sorry. How many Psyche K stickers can you spot on the computer? Or how many Adventure Time stickers can you spot? Or how many Rabbit stickers can you spot? How many Among Us stickers can you spot? Or even how many Pride stickers can you spot? It's a fun little game you can play. Or how many food stickers? Or even how many Squishmallow stickers? I've got them on the front too, because see, these ones are all cohesive, they're all that size sticker. And then I have this thing here. I've had that longer than the computer. I got it a couple of years ago, and I used to back all my art up onto it. Now it's just the thing that keeps all my art on it rather than putting them on the computer itself, because I decided, you know, why not? This has 2 terabytes of memory on it, of storage on it, so keep it on there, keep it plugged in all the time so I can save and use it. And then we also have this little guy at the front, where I can put additional things on. I'll probably save all my video files onto there, and I installed The Sims onto it, because, you know, you never had too much memory. I wouldn't recommend this mouse and keyboard. I got them together just so I could have something wireless on my desk. The range is not amazing. Like, this mouse sometimes goes out of range if it goes too far that way, and this keyboard, if it goes too far below my desk, it loses range, and that's not convenient considering if I have my art tablet set up, it's obviously on this stand, so this keyboard would be on my lap. And then we have all the clutter, because of course I've got clutter all over my desk. I need to move that and have it plugged in. I don't know, I'll probably have it sitting on top of here, because why not? I could probably sit it on top of this, or sit this on top of it, I don't know. And look, I've got some of my books and sketchbooks there. I really like Rainbow High dolls. I just think they're so fun. Maybe one day I'll get one and I'll remake it so it's one of my OCs instead. It'll be fun. Okay, we back. I'm going to need to edit this to properly rotate the screen, but we back. So, the last drawing video we had, I did this. So that's finished now, and I stuck this clear stuff over it to, I don't know, make it a better... it did go through the paper a little bit. The ink did. Which isn't really that surprising, but it went through a little bit. But today I'm going to talk about how I colour pick, because people don't seem to hate the way I do colours, so why not talk about how I do the colours? So that should keep it in frame. Actually, I should plug in the phone so it doesn't... Ooh, I have so many cables around here. I should plug in the phone so it can't go flat while we're chatting. Sorry, my chair is squeaky. Sorry, Kira, but you're on a cable. Plug in the phone. Go. Okay. I don't actually need anything up on my screen, but okay. I guess we'll provide extra light. I've got this here to assist me, because usually when I'm doing digital art, there's the little wheel, colour wheel on the screen. And this one is a little different to the one I have digitally, but it'll do for our purposes. I also just really like spinning the thing. Yeah. Today we're going to use colour pencils, I guess. Just because those are the closest art supply on hand. Yeah. Look at my pencil case, isn't it so cute? Hehe. I keep all my pens and crap in that side, and all my pencils in this side. Today we need the pencils. Okay. Oh, I did also pull out a drawer because I thought I might sift through and find some Pride stickers. It is June, it is the 2nd. I don't know what day this is being posted. What is my computer demanding about? Privacy update for OneDrive. I don't care. Okay. I should really clean this stamp thing properly rather than doing that every time I want to use it, but... no. So let's just stamp. There we go. I want to use some washi tape. Washi tape, which drawer? Oh, my drawer is a little bit buried. Sorry about my squeaky chair once again. Oh, did I get washi tape in this order? I did get washi tape in it, but I guess I've put the washi tape into drawers already. So, yeah, not very helpful. Not very helpful indeed. What kind of washi tape do we want to use today? Ow. Okay. We have so many washi tape options. This cable hanging down is kind of annoying. It's all tangled and smangled. What can I do to sort you out of the way? Nothing. Can you still see the cable the way I've just put it? No? Cool. Okay. Maybe a little thin one would be good. We can use it as a border. What kind of washi tape do we want to use? If you spot a washi tape that you think I should use in a future art piece, feel free to comment and try to point out specifically which one, and I will try to understand which one you were referring to. Okay, I think I will just use this one. I've had it for a while, and, you know, maybe it's its time. It is its turn. Put that back into the drawer. I actually need to get a ruler. Ugh, why don't you want to stay out of the way, cable? Do I have anything that could pin that out of the way? I have so much stuff on my desk that it's like, you'd think I would have something. I've got a bunch of these little fellas. I could probably use one of those to pin it, to keep it attached to something else. That'll do. No, it won't. It doesn't want to stay. Okay. Let's hope that stays. Am I recording audio? I am. That's always a check I should do whenever I start recording. Because sometimes I accidentally don't. Okay. Where's my favourite pencil? It's right here. Favourite pencil. Let's get a little square. Do I have anything sharp on my desk? I do in fact have something sharp on my desk. Yay me. There we go. This is not going to be the most tidy square. Why do I have that in my mouth? It doesn't need to be in my mouth. But it will be, well, it's not going to be a square. It's going to be a really messy rectangle. I'm not going to do a proper art piece. This is just more of a drawing so I can show the way that I use colour. So when I'm drawing, I'll usually decide on a character, and then I'll think, what kind of situation do I want to draw this character in? I'll decide on the pose, I'll decide on the background if I'm drawing a background. If I'm not drawing a background and it's just a plain background, then obviously the background colour kind of matters a little bit more. Well, it matters even with the background, but when it's a flat background colour, it's kind of easier, in my opinion, to decide on the overall colour theming. Where did I put my pencil? Right there. So, let's say I were drawing Cario. So I'd draw Cario. And then... So Cario's main colours are blue and red. And then, of course, I don't always follow the same rules for colours. Sometimes it's just I've drawn these two colours together, I've experimented with colours, and it's like these are colours I happen to like seeing side by side. Like, I put a lot of orange and purple together because I just think orange and purple look good together. So say I draw Cario, and Cario's main color traits are blue and some red. So I would draw Cario, obviously, and then this is the wrong shade of blue. Here is a blue that is more suited. This blue is also the wrong shade of blue. I've usually got a cup on my desk that I can pencil sharpen, put my pencil shavings into, but I don't know where that is, because some of these pencils need sharpened. So her primary colour is blue with some red as the secondary colour. This doesn't need to be tidy or anything. So if I've got the main character and her primary colour is blue, I would then look at the colour wheel, and typically the thing I do to pick the background colour is just pick the colour that is opposite the blue. So she's got more of this greeny kind of blue, so I would go to there, and then I would probably use an orangey or an orangey yellow to go opposite that, rather than, because it would look nice. So the colour wheel on my computer is actually a little bit different, so I probably wouldn't actually use orange, but that's what this colour wheel says, so that's the one we're going with here. Because this says that the opposites are the complementary colours, so, you know, they complement each other nicely. And I do think that blue and orange do look really nice across from each other. Let me pull up my colour wheel on my computer here. Opposite is, yeah, even on the computer, opposite of this blue is still orangey red. More red on the computer, so I probably would have used like a bright red. I don't colour in with pencils a lot because I tend to be impatient when it comes to colouring in, and I find I have to press harder on the paper, and that tends to hurt my wrist a little bit. Just found the sharpening cup. So that's one example. And sorry, I'm looking for the end of this again. So sometimes it's just I will pick the opposite colour on the colour wheel as the background because I think that looks nice. Sometimes it's just, as I said before, I pick colours based on, you know, previous experience with colours and what I feel looks good. Like with Gavin, I think. Let me pull up Gavin on my screenery-do. You can't see it, but it's helping me having something to refer to. With Gavin, her primary colours are pink, so I kind of just draw her with a lot of pink and a lot of pinks and purples. Like, there are probably colours that go better in the background, but, you know, the way I draw her, I'm just used to drawing her with lots of pinks and purples, and yellow is my favourite colour, so I do that too a lot. You know, how much I'm thinking about colours really depends on the day and the mood. So Gavin is mostly pink based. So if I were to take the complementary colours approach to Gavin and Cario are very similar to each other, admittedly, but Gavin is more of a curvy character. She actually has a chest. I tend to draw Cario rather flat-chested, and Cario doesn't really have curves, while Gavin does have curves. She's got wider hips. She's very feminine. I mean, she's very I would say she's very boisterous, she's adventurous, she likes fighting, but she's also very feminine in that she likes to look good. Like, you know, why can't she be an awesome kick-ass person who just also likes to look good? Meanwhile, Kario, I think, she would not be able to do anything in a fight. If you ever get into a fight, you do not want Kario there helping you, because she will not be any help. Might as well put the names on there. So Kario's primary colours are pinks and reds, because she has a red eye. I talked in the last video about why Kario keeps an eye covered up, but I don't know why Gavin does. I have never thought about the reasoning behind that. That's just the way I've always drawn her. This is not quite the right colour, but as it is the colour that we will be using today. I actually quite like these colouring pencils that I'm using at the moment. I've had them for a little while now. They are Gold Faber-Castell pencils. I quite like these pencils. I feel like I don't colour in using pencils often enough, but when I do use them, I like them. So Gavin's primary colours are pinks and reds, and you can see on Le Wheel, pink and red would be either this limey green for the pink or this darker green for the red. For if I were to look at the colour wheel on my computer, yeah, it is pretty much the same. More bluey or greeny, bluey than this, but so kind of a greens colours. Limey greens would be particularly well suited, I'd say. So, do I have a limey green pencil? Can't remember how many pencils are in this pack, but it's not the most abundant pack of pencils. And then, of course, there's as I keep saying and referring to, I do have just colour combos that I really like. I'm really bad about colouring in traditional art because I just get impatient. It takes too long to colour it in. I have so much more patience when it comes to digital art, I'll be honest. I'm having a brain fart. Are those my crayons over there? I think these are my flesh crayons. How do I open you? You're just out. Tin. Yeah, these are my flesh crayons. We don't need flesh crayons. I definitely can't reach my regular crayons, can I? That's not very helpful. These will do. So I also love using purple and orange together, because I think purple and orange look really awesome together. Like if you get this kind of deep purple, it's not very deep when it's watercolour, is it? Like a nice darker shade of purple, and then, yeah, get a little bit of orange, and you put them next to each other. I just think it looks really cool the way those two colours go together. And especially if you then do a solid frame of black. I just think it looks really nice together. And then of course if you refer back to this, you've then got triadic colours, so that I think it's meant to only fit 3 colours in there, but if you really tried you could fit 4 colours. So then if you wanted a really uniform piece, you could slide it around and then do oopsie doopsie. You could wash your brush properly so you don't get black in your nice bright orange. You could use orange. You could use red. These kind of look the same, don't they? You could use red. And you could use this pinky colour. And the 3 of them are similar, and it gives your whole piece a kind of cohesive look to it. So you could primarily base it around these with minimal aspects of other things. And maybe have one of them be the central colour, you know. It's colours. Just try lots of things, see what you feel comfortable with, I think. Obviously that's all warm colours. With like colder colours you could do a nice green, pick out a nice dark green maybe. Like this is a very olive green, and if you use some olive green and then you went with more of a greeny blue as a middle colour, and then used a dark, almost denim blue as a third colour, those 3 colours go really well together. See, these 2 are kind of opposites to each other, but they're both really nice looking. Or if you really wanted to do something where you're doing both colours that kind of mush together, and then flip and use the complementary colours, you know, balance out these 2 sets, that would look really nice too. Do I want to do a full piece showing doing one of these? That is a good question. I have another sketchbook here. I'm going to put those crayons away. I'm just grabbing another sketchbook so I can put the colours that we want to do a piece using on there, so I can actually remember the focus. This is a sketchbook I've been using for a little bit, but not that long really. We'll do the warm colours today because honestly I just think that appeals to me right now. Don't think I can tidy that up at the moment. It's tidy enough, I guess. So we'll just... These are the colours we're going to focus on today for the full piece. There. This paint is wet. Can I dab, 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 dab? Do I have any... No, I do not have any tissues that I can kind of dab on there. And I don't want to just stick a piece of paper on here because then it would stick. Yes, I could do that. Hello Kitty Sticker Book, thank you for saving the day. So we'll stick that here to keep the paint from dribbling onto the next page. We've got bleed through on this page, so I don't think I'm going to use that one. We'll use this page. Oh, that fell out immediately, didn't it? Let me just stand up and check what our framing is like. There we go. Put that there. And then we get to use the stamp again. How fun. should really properly clean this stamp rather than doing that, but that can wait. You know, I thought starting testosterone would improve my hand strength, but honestly, my hand strength in this hand holding the stamp is abysmal. Don't ask me to open things, I cannot. There we go. One small stamp. So we're going to focus on using those 3 colours. What character do we want to draw today? That is the question of the question. Do we want to make up a character, or do I want to draw a character I've already drawn before? I mean, it's not as if I don't have an abundance of characters. I could draw my pretty boy. He's a character that I've got that I still haven't named, but I love drawing him with pink and blue and purple, so maybe drawing him with orange and pink will be a fun idea. I don't really have a pose in mind either, so we're going to go a little bit basic. I still haven't named this character, so if you look at him and you think, I know a perfect name for him, feel free to suggest one. I usually give him white eyelashes, but I don't know if I'll do that in this drawing. I think playing with colours, I find it most fun to do on traditional art because of the fact that I don't tend to view my traditional art as something that needs to be finished or good. Like, if I start a drawing with digital art, I tend to feel like I need to finish it more so than I would if I were doing it traditionally. Because with traditional art, I can always just rip the page out of the paper and throw it out, and it doesn't feel like as much of a waste as it does when I start a drawing on digital art and then delete the file. It always feels somehow more of a waste to me, and it doesn't really make sense, because you'd think the piece of paper you're throwing out is more of a waste than just a file. His hair is kind of a pinky pink, so it's not quite the pink that I'm aiming for based on these 3 colours I picked, but, you know, it'll do. His ponytail would be about here. He's quite a happy dude, so obviously he would be smiling. Do I want to give him a couple of new piercings? Because he does have a lot of... I have drawn him with the 2 gold piercings here before, so he can keep those. I've been really loving drawing turtleneck tank top type things lately. I just think they look fun. He does not have titties, but honestly I find it easier to draw the titties, because, you know, when you're doing a torso, the torso has the ribs that are kind of so far down, and I find it easier if I kind of mentally measure out where the titties would be, and then the ribs would be just below that. That's how I figure out torso length, at least. It would probably also be the type of character to wear a crop top, but not today. Today he can wear a turtleneck. I mean, you could probably have a cropped turtleneck. I'm sure I've drawn nobly in that before. It's a very tight turtleneck around the body, and then it's looser around the neck. He doesn't have any tattoos yet, because I haven't drawn him with any. But maybe one day I will design a nice, lovely tattoo for him. It did just occur to me, though, I don't know if I'm leaning too far into frame. Yep, you can see fine. Okay. For some detail on the page, You know what, I have some, oh yeah, I haven't rescued them from the back of the shelves yet. I have some nice watercolour paint that I really like using, but it's still at the back of my shelves. I might pause the video and go rescue them so I'm able to use them. So yes, be right back. Apparently I was wrong about the location of the watercolour paint, and I squished myself into that gap for nothing, because they were actually on the shelf behind me. But yes, I got this watercolour paint. I don't know when. I got it. I bought it. Yes. I didn't, yeah, I don't know what I was trying to say there. I just thought some little oranges would look cute as adding a little bit of detail. We could probably use a little bit of green too. I mean, opposite orange is green. I mean, I don't really want to use too much green, even if it is the complementary colour. The idea was to focus on the light orange, the brighter orange, and the pink, more so than any other colour. There. Just checking the framing again. Bloop. So I got these a while ago. I really like them. I haven't used them in a while though. Little sponge. This does have a thing at the bottom for holding it. I don't know the correct way to hold it. There, that'll work. Now I can just hold that, keep it out of the way. Shall we start with the skin colour? Why not? We've got a little tray for mixing colours on. Is this the white or is it not? Either way, I've just mixed some pink into it because my water is dirty. My paint water, that is. I've been using mostly gouache, so using watercolour paint is a little bit different because, you know, it's not quite, it's more watery, obviously, because it's watercolour. So when it comes to skin tones, if I'm doing a white tone, because he is a white character with quite pinkish tones to his skin tone, I usually get some white and then I get a little bit the pink. Mix them, and then because, you know, skin tones aren't just flat white, like my skin is white, but it's not white, you know, there's pink to it, and it tends to be just a touch of an orange tone. I mean, it's not always, you definitely have people who have different undertones, but I like using orange as an undertone, because I just think it looks neat. So that'll do for his skin tone. I really haven't used watercolour paint in a while, so it's interesting to go back to it, and it works differently. So differently to what I'm used to now. I think I actually need like a darker tone to go over and do the shading. I can probably just use that dark orange for his jewellery that's on his face. And I didn't do a drawing where you can actually see his earrings. Maybe in another video we can do a drawing where you can see his earrings. But for this one, no earrings. I might start doing some videos around preparing for Art Fight next month too. You know, making some of the reference sheets. Why not? You might be able to hear the cat scratching at the cat post behind me. Oh, Seraphina's growling because Lily wants onto the cat post, and Seraphina's perched at the top of the cat post. I clearly did not mix enough pink here. That is a bit too saturated, but it'll work nicely for his cheeky colour. Obviously, when you're picking colours, you don't have to change just the colours of your character. Like if your character's got some colours that are inherent to them, you can use their colour, but then think about how different that colour might look in different lighting. I like to use overlays a lot when I'm doing digital art. It's a little more difficult, I think, when it comes to traditional art because there's no easy overlay button, is there? But like if I wanted to draw this character in the sunshine, I might use some more orange in the skin tone, and then to imply that he's standing in direct sunlight, kind of line the side that the sun is shining on, if it were shining from this corner up here, and then slowly blend it into the skin tone. So there's this kind of rim of the bright colour of sunshine, and then his regular skin tone. Because, you know, the way the sun shines onto things kind of impacts the colour you see. I think next time we'll definitely use gouache for this instead. Don't know which cat is settling under my feet now. Not Seraphina, she's still on the post behind me. Ah, it's Lily. So I feel like when you see the orange on the rim like this, it kind of shows the sunshine kind of aspect. And then you could also bring it down to the clothing. I haven't actually properly painted in the clothing yet. But, you know, obviously the orange would have an impact on there. And it's watercolour, you can layer it up as much as you want. We will actually give him a nice vibrant. We'll use our third bright colour for his shirt. Why not? I should have actually picked out a wider brush for this bit, I guess. Do I have any wide brushes on hand? I've got this brush. By the feel of it, it is a brush I have not used before. There we go. Now we can use it. This character is up on my toy house if you want to go and look at their profile and see more about them, I guess, but there's not really any information there. In fact, there is no information, there's just the 3 drawings I've done of them, if you want to see them in their digital glory. I think I've done art of them in my other sketchbook too. I haven't really been doing a whole lot of art at the later half of July, so I think it'll be a while before I have my next sketchbook tour. But I do really love showing my sketchbooks, because I love finishing sketchbooks. And then I get to show the sketchbooks, and I think that is fun. Keep a bit of orange, blend it in, you know, keep that overall tone going. Bloop, bloop, bloop. What colour eyebrows does he have? He has pink eyebrows, apparently. I guess he dyes his eyebrows, which is more effort than I've ever put into dyeing my hair. I can't say I ever dye my eyebrows to match. I do also need a slightly darker shade, so we can use this brown to darken up this pink. Use it as a contrast to that orange that's shining onto his other shoulder. He doesn't have proper tears, but he does still have pectoral muscles, so you would have a little bit of a line there. I might use a shiny pink for his hair colour. Why not? Does he not deserve the pearlescent shiny colours? I think he does. I think that he's a cis male, but he's also a little bit feminine, so he likes when people are like, is that a what? He likes when people look at him and are confused, is what I'm conveying. Like, he's not firmly attached to his gender identity, he's just kind of, about it. Just using a little bit more orange here. There we go. Now let's mix up a nice colour for his hair. I want this pearlescent pink that I have. This pearlescent pink. Lovely, lovely shiny. Maybe one day I will give him a partner and they can have this pearlescent blue as their hair colour. That could be cute. Actually, that would be a fun thing to do during Pride Month, and then I can do lots of cute art of them together. I don't know what their partner would be. Like, do y'all think this person would date males, females, or do you think they would date someone who's more closer to him and not so attached to gender identity? Feel free to comment if you have ideas on the kind of person he should date. I'm just using a little bit of orange in this pink. That is too much orange in this pink. Whoopsie doopsie. I need less orange in this pink now. I would like some white in this pink. This white is not very white. I definitely have some tubes of white watercolour paint that I could probably add to that. There we go. I'm just trying not to get my arm on the wet paint. And obviously, as we're painting along this line, it is mixing into the wet paint of the shirt. Oh well. We can always fix that up later. It would be better if I switched to the thinner brush now, obviously, but no, I will continue to be stubborn. Thank you very much. I might do a digital kind of equivalent to this, where I talk about the way I use colours as well. You know, why not? Because I feel like a lot of things that you learn doing traditional art, you can apply to digital art and vice versa, but it is also fun to, you know, maybe do a few chat with me videos where I do it digitally. Why not? I just need to move that little box that I think I showed in the first clip and set it up so I can record my computer screen better. And I still need to get a microphone that can plug into that little box, so I'm not recording the audio and visual separately. For now that I have a computer, I can actually have it so my laptop sits behind me exporting videos while I can continue to use my computer, which is really neat, I think. So yay for Mongoose, my favourite computer. My only computer, really. I do also eventually plan on doing upgrades to this computer, because amusingly, this computer has less RAM than my laptop does, because my laptop, about a year ago, I upgraded the RAM in it, so it has more RAM than most laptops do. There we go. His skin tone looks a little bit pale here, so I might add a little bit more there. He does also have white freckles, but beyond using a white pen, I'm not sure how I would convey that with watercolour paint, if I'm completely honest. Bloop, 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 bloop. He is the type of character that would probably wear makeup too, and see no issues with that. Because there is no issues with that, and he would look adorable with makeup on. Just spreading the orange to kind of blend across his face a little bit. Mushing this so it's more of a skin colour. Putting a little bit of a shadow under his chin. A little bit of blush on the shoulders. I know people don't typically have blush on the shoulders, but I think it looks cute to draw characters with blush on their shoulders. There we go. A little bit more orange on the shoulder. And yeah, I haven't done his eyebrows yet, have I? Eyebrows. I could also use a bit of a darker pink, I think, for shading his hair a little bit. That is now too dark a pink. Ah, well. You schnoozle, you loozle. In this case, the snoozle being the putting too much of the darker pink. There we go. Okay, now that's too much of a lighter pink, isn't it? Ooh, colours be colouring. I'll probably want to use some ink to do the outlines, just so we can firm them up a little bit. Oh, Lily's going to sleep underneath my desk now. Now we can switch to a thinner paintbrush for doing his eye colour. Because he has green eyes. So I did mention how we're primarily using those colours, but his eyes are green, so, you know, even if that isn't one of our primary colours we're using here, obviously I wouldn't change his eye colour just to match the palette. I mean, if you're doing a limited colour challenge and you want to change a colour to only stick to that colour challenge, obviously you'd do that, but we're not doing a strict colour challenge here. I'm going to use like a orange, put that on there, get me some yellow once I dab this orange off, get me some yellow, do a little mixy mix here, get me some more yellow, do a little mixy mix, that will be our goldeny colour for his piercings. Notice that we haven't coloured his lips yet. A little bit of pink. This is a little bit dark, I think. Sorry, my nose is a little bit sniffly. I kind of want a brighter pink for his cheekbones, I think. Yep. There we go. It's kind of blending into the white of his eye a little bit too much, but ah well. It be how it be. Little more white. His face is definitely a lot pinker than his arms here. Oopsie doopsie. Just because I spent too much time layering onto his face, I think. Maybe we could just consider it as he's very pale, but he's wearing so much makeup on his face that he accidentally darkens it. He's one of those people that's not amazing at colour picking, so his face ends up being darker than his arms. Whoopsie doopsie, dude. Hope one day you get the foundation that fits your skin a little bit better. Honestly, I'm pretty sure people who apply a full face of makeup every day, you are doing way better than I am, because I could not bother doing that. And you're obviously very skilled to be able to do that. I just thought the oranges up here would look cool and fit to the colour scheme. I did go through a phase a couple of years ago where I was drawing a lot of digital art oranges. That was before I had an art tablet, so I was doing that on Photoshop with a mouse. They were my emotional support oranges and my anti-scurvy warts. A little bit of this to add some shading. I think out of all my art abilities, maybe one of my bigger flaws is the fact that I have a lot of audacity, so I tend to assume that if, with time and with enough reference images, in theory I could look at anything and be able to draw it well enough digitally. Which is why I went through a phase of drawing a lot of fruit. But mostly oranges. I've got a couple pages in my sketchbooks where I drew just pages of fruit and coloured them in with crayons, I think. How orange has accidentally grown as I've been colouring it here. Oh well. Big orange won't hurt you. Oops. We now have a little bit of orange in our white paint. Now we need some green for that singular leaf. I guess the green is good because then it matches his eyes. For this is a very browny coloured leaf, isn't it? There we go. It's a lot better. Add a little bit more green to his eye. Well, to both his eyes really, but there. Do I want to paint the entire background is the question. I don't think I do, if I'm completely honest. But it would look better if I did, wouldn't it? Good question, good question. Sorry, I'm just spinning this. This is actually a pin. I usually keep it pinned behind my desk, but obviously I took it down so I could use it in this video and reference it. If I were to paint the background, I would probably use a dark pink, you know, our third colour. We didn't really use much of the orange, the light orange, I think. So we could also do that, but I think, actually, you know what? A light orange would actually be a good choice for the background. I might be lazy for this one. Ugh, let me, close up this properly. Put this back in. Oh, get back in your assigned settings. There we go. So I might be somewhat lazy with this and use a different watercolour paint. Where did I grab this from? Ow, ow, ow. Twisting my wrist the wrong way to be able to do that. Let me pause and grab the other paint. I've retrieved the paint. So I have all of this paint. These two boxes are both gouache for refilling my palette, but all of this is me watercolour paint. So I want to use a really light orange, so we'll grab the white and we'll grab the vermilion to be able to mix ourselves an orange. There's a couple different brands of watercolour paint in here, but we only need the 2 tubes to be able to paint in the background colour of there. And then, I was standing up, I will sit down again. I will put those out of the way. We will need a watercolour palette. I've got one of those on the shelf next to me that we can use. It's a very well used watercolour palette. Acrylic paint, clearly. Okay, let's grab some of our vermilion. Did I hit record? I did hit record. Okay, thank you. Oh, I forgot to put the little sponge back in that watercolour thing. So we've got the base vermilion, but I don't want it to be vermilion. I want like a light orange. So then we add some white. Which paintbrush do I want to use? I did in fact just wipe them on my pants. That is not quite the light orange we want. Maybe I need to add some yellow to this. Where is a yellow? Here is a yellow. I did mention that I don't have a whole lot of hand strength to done out. Gross. Okay. This is kind of a peachy colour, isn't it? You know what, I think I will use the peachy colour. I think the peachy colour is fine, and I think it fits the vibe of the overall art. So we can start painting with our peachy colour now. And just fill in the background. I don't know if you can see it on camera, but his skin tone is kind of slightly glimmery, I think, because I used some of that pearlescent paint when I was doing some of the skin. So that's fun to look at least. I'm not going to be too bothered if I don't tidily stay in the background. Like, if some of it happens to go onto his hair or his skin, that's fine. It's not the end of the world. I'll probably have to go over the date there, just to make sure it's still legible. I'm probably going to use black ink to go around the outline. We might have to have a pause where I stop recording for a little bit so the paint can dry, but that's fine. The paint is still wet, I just felt it on my wrist there. Oh well. Need to be a little bit careful. I think this is overall a very warm-toned piece, and I quite like that. It suits the character, I think. I'll definitely have to draw more of this character during Pride Month, and give him a name. He deserves a name. I definitely have way too many characters that I haven't actually named yet. Oops, we have gone over the stem of this orange a little bit. Do I want to switch to that wide paintbrush? Might save us some time if I did that. I definitely mixed too much of this colour, I think. That is more than I need just to paint this background. Yeah, that works a lot better. you probably can't see over in this corner too well. Oopsie doopsie. Eventually I will have this set up, you know, better thought out, and have it so you can always see every single bit that I am reaching into. You know, over time things will improve. Carefully going around the lines. This leaf is kind of an interesting olive green, but you know what? It's fine. It can stay that interesting olive green. I don't want to go over the oranges too much, but this is a lighter orange, so it's not going to show up over top of them anyway. So that's good at least. I don't know if I do actually need to wait to be able to do the ink. Because watercolour paint is pretty decent in terms of drying time. Like, it doesn't take an incredibly long time, depending on how you're using it, I guess. Like, it might take a bit longer if you were using it in a way that's extremely watery. Like, if you had just a lot of water, that would take longer to dry. Where do I have my ink? It is over there on my desk. Cool. I do need to eventually get some more ink. I lent some ink to my aunt. I don't know if my aunt still has that ink, or if my nana has the ink inside. But at the same time, it is different. I primarily like using this ink. Can you see that? I primarily like using this ink, but I do have another brand of ink that I had a bottle of, and that's the one I lent out, and I'm really not actually too concerned whether I get that back or not. There we go. The entire background has been colorinoed, and I think that this light orange color actually goes quite nicely with him, and I have managed to use pretty much all of this orange paint that I mixed up, which is even better, because then I'm not feeling like I'm wasting any of the paint. We're just filling in little bits where it's a little bit lighter now. And he obviously doesn't have his freckles for this piece, because I'm not quite sure how I would do the white freckles. Do I have a white pen? I do have another pencil case, but it is up in my bedroom, and I don't really want to go get it. Where do I want to sit this palette now that I'm done with it? I do also have some cute stickers. We could use some cute stickers on here. Do we want to do the Inky Boy now? Ink. Put these back in the drawer. Put the drawer in the back up when I'm done. Which paintbrush do we want to use? I got these two thin paintbrushes recently, so I could use them for ink, because I needed a nice thin paintbrush. And now that is what I have. Bloop. Start in the top corner so we don't run over it, get black ink all over our arm when we're doing below it, obviously. I think the other bits are mostly dry, but if we happen to smear a little bit, that's fine too. The downside with black ink is you can't really see the inside of the bottle to know how far in you need to reach to get ink on the paintbrush. And honestly, I'm not tidy when it comes to doing line art like this. Just making sure y'all could see, and you can. When it comes to paintbrushes, I usually just grab whatever paintbrushes I can find cheap. This paintbrush I'm using at the moment, and the other one, thin one, I got as single ones, but most of my paintbrushes come in big packs of paintbrushes. But I specifically got these two just because I needed a thin brush, and it needed to be slightly better quality. Because it's really annoying when you have a thin brush and then it's getting older and some of the strands are sticking the wrong way and it just doesn't work as well. Here we go. Couple of strands to show that this is here. This is his hair tie. We'll just give him a black hair tie, I guess. You definitely want to consider the direction of the piece, like with this bit here, you want this bit to be the thinner bit, so you wouldn't start here and paint upwards, you would start here and paint downwards. And you would do it better than I just did it. I think you can understand now why I didn't necessarily record doing the black outline on the Art of Cario, because it takes a while and requires a little bit more concentration. This light orange paint is still a little bit wet. But I just want to do the outline of these oranges. Doot, 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 doot. I don't have the most steadiest hand in the world either. But you know what? That is fine. Maybe it adds a little bit of uniqueness to the art, that it's not the most amazingly steady. There we go. This light orange paint is definitely still wet, and I can feel the dampness on my arm as I paint these borders on these oranges. But that is fine. Okay, now the eyebrow. Can't really see this eyebrow because of the way his hair sits, but you can see this eyebrow just fine. It does kind of blend into his skin tone, so that's definitely something I could have done better. People, I'm not going to bother putting a black line around his iris, because I just feel like it looks better if I don't. There we go. Nozzle. A little bit of line carrying up here to show the ridge of his eyebrow. Jaw. Do our best to do a thin black line around his piercing here. If I were smart, I would use gold paint and go over the top of that piercing. I definitely have a shiny gold paint around here somewhere. Jaw line. This orange paint is still a little bit damp. That is fine. Now we move down to the neck. And we can also put some lines in here to indicate the fact it's here and there is motion. Put some lines around here to show that it's a turtleneck and there is some foldy fold going on here. Start all the way down here and build the line upwards above the shoulder to find the line between the shirt and here a bit where the two colours bleed. It's a bit of a thick line, isn't it? Whoops. Thinner line for the collarbone to show that it's showing through a little bit because the shirt is a little bit tight there. Maybe go thinner as we go downwards here. Thin little line here, thin little line here. Overall, I think I am quite happy with this drawing. Yay me! I'm not doing this line very well. Come on, line, you can do it. we are now done, and I need to remember to wash this paintbrush before I put it back in its usual spot. I should really wash all of my paintbrushes. If I were really smart about it, I would do that. But I'm not going to. I'm probably only going to brush this one paintbrush and then call it a day, because that be how it be. But yeah, that is today's video, all about how I use colours. And then it's not even, I could probably talk about colour a lot more. There's always more to say about colours. And if you have any questions or specific notes, I will happily read those and answer the questions. And if you like Among Us, this is my little guy. I hope you enjoy him. I will see you in the next video. Ciao, ciao.